Neha to explain something about their performance.
Neha, do you remember our parents and grandparents told us fairy tales in our childhood?
Yes, and I love to listen to fairy tales. They have a magical and dreamy essence in them. They take us on an imaginative ride to magical dreamy world.
Fairy tales not only builds our imagination, but it also teaches us moral values such as kindness, selflessness, patience, and many more things.
Fairy tales always carry a message with them. They always teach us something. So today we are going to do a tableau performance.
But Neha, what is tableau? We have to tell the audience about that first of all.
Do you remember in our childhood how we had a lot of pictures in our English textbook and we used to understand story more by looking at the pictures?
Yes, tableau is similar to that. We will be creating pictures from the story and the narration of the story will be going on in the background.
We will use special expressions, postures and gestures to create the pictures from the story.
So we hope you will enjoy our tableau performance.
Thank you, girls, for this beautiful explanation.
Once upon a time, there was a simple and beautiful girl named Cinderella. She lived with her evil stepmother and two stepsisters. The stepmother did not like her and made her do all the household work. The stepsisters just never had to work. They just roamed around the house in their fancy dresses and they always made fun of Cinderella. One day, a letter from the king came to their house. It said that the king is having a ball tonight and his son, the prince, would be choosing a wife, and every girl in the kingdom was invited to the ball. Cinderella reads the letter and gets excited to go to the ball. The stepmother snatched the letter from her hands, and stepmother told her that she can go if she completes all her work on time and also helps her stepsisters with their dresses for the ball. Cinderella worked as fast as she could and also helped her sisters with their dresses and their makeup. Her stepsisters get ready for the ball, but they don't let Cinderella to come with them despite her request. At last, she was left at home disappointed. She was so sad that she started crying and ran to the garden and said, "Wishes never come true." "Never, my dear," said a voice. As Cinderella looked up, a woman with a wand and a kind smile stood in front of her. She was her fairy godmother. She wanted to help Cinderella go to the ball. With a wave of her hand, she made Cinderella look like a princess. She gave her a beautiful new gown, glass slippers, and a horse cart with shiny black horses to reach the ball. Before leaving, the fairy godmother said, "This magic will only last until midnight. You must reach back home by then." When Cinderella entered the palace, everybody was awestruck by her beauty. She was the prettiest girl at the ball. Even her stepsisters didn't recognize her. The handsome prince also saw her and asked her for a dance. All the other girls were very jealous of her because the prince danced with her the whole night. She enjoyed herself so much that she almost forgot what the fairy godmother had told her about her magic. However, when she saw the time and remembered the godmother's words, she quickly left the palace and ran away. In all the hurry, one glass slipper which she was wearing was left on the castle steps. The prince finds her glass slipper while he was following Cinderella. The prince wants to find out who she was as he wanted to marry her. The next day, he ordered the king's men to go to every house in the land and find the girl whose foot fits in the glass slipper. When they reached Cinderella's house, the two stepsisters tried their best to squeeze their big feet into the slipper, but they could not make it. Finally, when Cinderella tried the slipper, her foot fit perfectly into the glass slipper. The prince recognized her from the ball night. Cinderella agreed to marry the prince. Finally, the day arrived when the prince married Cinderella soon in a grand ceremony, and they lived happily ever after.
Wow, what a magnificent and splendid performance it was. And the mind behind this was of none other than Dharita teacher. With this performance, we learned that good always triumphs evil.
There is a surprise program for all of you. Wait and watch